Welcome to the KMC Collective Podcast, where the KMC team brings you practical insights, creative ideas, and authentic conversations for children's ministry leaders. Each conversation is packed with strategies to help you lead with clarity, build strong teams, nurture families, and stay healthy in the process. Whether you're planning lessons, training volunteers, or seeking encouragement for the week ahead, this podcast is for you. We hope to make you laugh, cry, think, and maybe a bit of all three in each of our weekly conversations. This is the KMC Collective Podcast. Let's jump into the conversation.
All right. Well, before we get into today's episode, I just want to take a minute. Today, we are officially at over 375 episodes. Woo! There goes the confetti, and we haven't even fully got going. If you're watching on YouTube anyway. This is episode 40 of season number 2 of the KMC Collective Podcast. And over the years, this podcast has grown from a little internet radio show to a podcast that has over 179,000 downloads, almost 180,000 downloads. Sorry. We've had over 25,000 listeners in 100 countries.
What?
I cannot believe that. From the USA to Ecuador to Russia to South Africa to Malaysia and Israel and the United Arab Emirates. I mean, come on. France, Mexico, Turkey, Pakistan, the Czech Republic, Nicaragua, man, you name it. It's been amazing to see the list of countries, but 100 countries this podcast is going. And then this year, when we launched season 2, we started a podcast or a YouTube channel for the podcast, and we have over 127 subscribers, 40,000 impressions, and almost 4,000 views now in the few episodes that we've got up there. Most of the 40 are there. If you haven't watched them yet, go back and check them out. And now, after this episode, we are launching season 3, which with all of that stuff just stops me in my tracks. I mean, God gets all the glory that we're seeing the Kid Ministry Collective Ministry grow. Now we've got a team, and I can't wait to get into this because we're going to just reminisce and have some fun. And this episode is going to be a little different. Instead of bringing on an extra guest to interview or having a roundtable discussion, we're going to do some reminiscing. And actually, I'm not hosting this one. I'm not leading this one. I'm going to sit on the other side of the virtual mic, I suppose. And we're going to go back to the beginning, before the intro music, before this was even the KMC Collective podcast. So I'm going to hand over the mic and the lead to Ben and Vicky. And welcome to the KMC Collective Podcast, episode number 40. I'm Tom.
I'm Ben.
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Ron. The OG at the virtual table. This should be fun, and I'm excited, and just to be able to celebrate with you. Those numbers are awesome.
Yeah.
But behind those numbers are people that are doing the exact same thing together. Kid ministries from all over the world. And so that is so cool. I do want to know, though, we have a lot of first timers that have just joined us in season 2 that really don't know much about Tom, and they probably don't even know who Ron is. The OGs of the Kid Ministry Collective. So let's take a second, and let's start with you, Tom, since you've already been talking. Tell us a little bit about you. Give us a history of why is Kid Ministry Collective thing for Tom Bump.
Yep. Man, it's hard to believe. We launched this thing back in 2012. We'll get into more of that later in the episode of how that got started with Ron and I. I'm grateful for his friendship. He's one of my closest friends in all the world, and God brought us together as brothers. And because he's been part of the group of my inner circle since I've been in ministry, for a long time, we've been friends and walked each other through some valley seasons and encouraged each other, challenged each other, brainstormed with each other, just have been there. But yeah, I'm a pastor's kid. And so I've been raised in the church, around the church. I've had all sorts of jobs, from senior pastor, that was a demotion. Been an associate pastor, youth pastor, family there. I did Next Gen before Next Gen was a thing, because there was a lot of churches where I did youth ministry and kids ministry at the same time. And so a total of 35 full-time years, more than that as both a volunteer and as a just pastor's kid, getting involved. I started doing kids ministry as a 12-year-old, 12-year-old, doing a Sunday night Bible club, using flannelgraph puppets and magic tricks. I ran a little Bible club on Sunday nights for our church, because no adult wanted to do it. So I said, I'll give you, to my mom and dad, I'll give you lesson plans. And I created lesson plans for them, gave them to them, and they turned me loose. We got up to about 25 kids, and they finally said, we better get him some help back there. And yeah, well, those were fun times. So, but God called me into ministry. We talked about that in a previous episode, of how God used a little girl to rock my world and call me into ministry. And I've been doing it ever since, in a variety of ways. And now I'm in a new season, and I'm running alongside the church, offering coaching support, helping with the KMC, doing Restoring Leaders, which is my passion ministry of helping hurting, burned out leaders going through hard seasons. Because I've been on the mountain, I've been in the valley, I've seen the beauty there. And so I'm just thankful God isn't done with me yet. Every day I wake up and, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do? Is it my time to hand off things, or what am I supposed to do? And God keeps saying, go. So I go. He tells me to stop, I'm not going to stop.
That's awesome. I think some of our listeners may have to be Googling flannelgraph here and just figure
I'm
out
sure they would.
What in the world you're
sure.
talking?
What was before Next Gen?
Yeah, it was just, I mean, in the job description, it was anything your senior pastor asked you to do. And
There you go.
so as a youth pastor, it was, hey, we need somebody to start a kids church. We know you like kids, so you can teach teenagers and kids, right? I'm like, sure, why not? Let's do it. So
I just read an article about the history of how vacation Bible schools came about. So my question to end this one with you, Tom, is, were you doing ministry before Vacation Bible School was a thing?
no, because I grew up in Vacation Bible School.
Okay.
My mom and dad rocked Vacation Bible Schools. I mean,
You're not that old then. I got you.
yeah, they came up with,
He's old, but not that
Yes.
old.
Not
they
that
came
old.
up with some amazing themes of Bible schools. And my dad was a senior pastor who loved kids ministry. In fact, he left being a senior pastor to go into full-time kids ministry. And because he knew children's ministry was where it's at. And he's 86 years old, still going and still wanting to do kids ministry. But yeah, so no, Bible schools, I grew up in them, and it ignited my love for being creative with them and not doing, we did stuff because they didn't have published curriculums back then. My parents wrote all of their Bible school programs.
That's what I was going to ask. That's the difference, is they had to do so much more work and have such a
yes.
passion
Oh, yes.
for bringing the Bible in VBS
Yeah.
to kids.
It was a family project all year round, creating Bible school, puppet scripts, skits for the stage, our theming, decorations. My dad built some of the most elaborate sets that I've seen in years. He hand built everything, not this prepackaged stuff that you just buy from the company. We made everything. We painted stuff for weeks in advance. It was intense, but it was so much fun.
So I'm going to move past your dad.
Yep.
I'm going to move past you, and I'm going to move past the 1800s, and we're going to go to just the 1900s. I was born in the 1900s, so I get it.
Yeah.
Ron Brooks, everybody, one of the OGs with Tom. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us a history of where you came from in ministry and what you're doing now.
Trying to count back how many years. I'm going to settle on 30 years of kids ministry.
I won't
Right out of
pick on
college.
you as much as Tom.
And again, not quite as long, but pretty close. I taught elementary school and a Christian school right out of college. So I did that for a couple of years, and that got me into the kids ministry world. I always thought I was going to be an elementary teacher. So I went to school for elementary education, got the job at our local church that had a school. I did that for a while, and then from there transitioned into full-time ministry. And then over the course of the next, 15 years, I did full-time paid ministry. I did full-time non-paid ministry. So I had another job and a full-time job at the church. Probably until, maybe 10, 12 years ago, I backed out of active full-time ministry. So I've had a secular job since then, but still involved with, Tom is the face of the KMC and always will be, but I have a lot of discussions with him behind the scenes. I look into some of the stuff.
We know you're
Yeah,
the
well-
silent partner. You're the one that keeps Tom straight. So
He's the one who keeps us up and running and advancing technologically and all those kind of things and fixing what Tom screws up.
So you're right, Ben. You don't know me, but I've had a hand in the KMC from the very beginning. And just because you don't see my face doesn't mean I'm not involved. It's the same thing with ministry too.
Well, I will say I do ministry, but I see your name pop up a lot because we still utilize a lot of the resources that you put out there. Some good stuff. So I'm going to give you a second because some people may not even know what stuff you put out.
Yes.
Can I show you a few?
Yes,
I
please.
love that.
Got to show it because we're going to put links in the show notes to all this stuff.
So I can guarantee that some of the listeners are familiar with this.
Yes.
Kid's Guide to Baptism.
Yes.
I had a website for years, and I wrote an article on teaching kids about baptism and just how we did it in our ministry. And over the years, that turned into the most popular article on my website. And then I was thinking one day, you know what? Why can't I take this and turn it into something else? So that's where the workbook came from.
Oh,
It
I've
was
used
the
that in
first.
every church I've been in, pretty much.
Thanks. That was followed up by,
There's a bunch of books.
there's a series now, Kids Guide to Christianity series. So got a Kids Guide to Salvation, prayer pact,
Love that one.
prayer journal,
Yeah.
30-day prayer journal for kids. Did a Kids Guide to Advent. And then the newest one is a Kids Guide to the Fruit of the Spirit. So right now there are 5 in the series. 2 of them have been translated into Spanish. The baptism and salvation workbooks are now in Spanish. So if you could link to those, that would be
We are
great.
going
They are all on Amazon, but link to the website too, because I can give discounts.
discounts
on the
and
website.
he custom can do the cover. So if a children's ministry wants their logo on it and their brand colors and stuff, he
Yeah,
does
they
all
don't
that
have
kind of
them
stuff. So
here.
it looks like it's their thing.
They don't
it's
have
so
any
cool.
sampled here, but yeah, I've taken ministry logos so that it's not my resource that you're using in your church. You put your logo on the front of it, and then it's your ministry tool. Take my name off of it.
So your legacy is
you.
still doing ministry to this day,
Absolutely.
even though you're doing other things. God is still using him, man. So that's amazing.
You know, I will say there was a period, Tom mentioned the ups and the downs that we both had, and I've had some of the downtime where I didn't do anything and I needed that time. But just because I'm not active in full-time paid ministry at the church, I still volunteer. I figured out ways to take my talents and continue to do ministry. It just looks different.
Yeah.
Still ministry, man.
Yeah,
Don't
it's so,
matter if
I
you get a
love that
big-
you're passionate about still resourcing us who are on the front lines with great materials.
Yes.
And so if you all haven't reached out and looked at his stuff, you need to do that after this episode. You guys need to go look
Well,
at that.
way back, I mean, years ago when Tom and I met, I'm jumping ahead a little bit because we were going to get to this, but I had to write a lot of my own curriculum stuff too, just because some of the churches that we were at didn't have budgeting. And I got to a point where if I'm writing this and I'm using it, I could take a little bit of extra time and put it into a format that somebody else could take and use. And like you said, Ben, you know, multiplying your impact or continuing to reach people without me having to continue to do the same thing. So I started years ago taking a little bit of extra time in the resources that I did create to put them in a form that somebody else could pick up and not have to have me tell them what to do. You know, here it is. And so that's where it kind of started. And now we end up with the series of workbooks, and I'm pretty excited about Dewey the Dragon too. This is The Adventures of Dewey the Dragon. Dewey is now, there's 7 books in his series. Each one of these stories, it's a fun story.
The Valuable Dragon, the Friendly Dragon. What was the one you just set down?
The Christmas Dragon.
Christmas Dragon. Okay.
The Friendly Dragon introduces Maddie the Dragon, Dewey's friend. Then she gets her own story, The Nervous Dragon. Dewey spends a day with his grandma and grandpa with the Special Dragon. But it's not just a fun story. I put a page at the back of each one of the stories. This is turning into a big commercial.
That's okay. People need to hear about
But
that.
I've got a page at the back for parents and grandparents. So these are not Christian books, but I've taken the principles of the stuff that I've made in my curriculum and I've made a page for parents. But then there's some sample discussion questions too that carry the theme or the message of the story into a conversation that the
That's
family
awesome.
can have together. And there's so many parents that tell me what a cool idea that is because kids' books just don't have that.
Where can you
part-
find Dewey books?
Oh,
I
Yeah.
want to show you.
Oh,
because
it's blurry.
Yeah, it's blurry. So Dewey is the blue guy and his friend TJ, that is Tom in dragon form.
For those of you who are
It'll be on YouTube.
watching on YouTube, if you're listening to this, you need to find where you can get access, and just see Tom in dragon form would be worth just hitting and going and looking at the.
What
Dewey
TJ
books are all on. Dewey
TJ
books are all on Amazon, but deweythedragon.com. He's got his own website.
See the resemblance.
yeah.
He's got his own stuffed animal too.
My goodness.
Aren't those plushies awesome?
Yeah.
Dewey
turned
and
out
Maddie
good.
in plushie form. Very cool.
So outside of the secular job that I have been, the workbooks and Dewey keep me pretty busy.
They do.
So we got a link to those and
Yep.
the YouTube and the podcast bio. Man, if you haven't checked out any of those books, the resources
good.
or the dragon, the
Wait
dragon
till-
was super cute. I think like I enjoy it, and I don't have kids that of that age, but like it's entertaining, and the questions at the end, that's good stuff.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I
getting
love that.
this
I
set
love
for
when
my
you can bring
grandson.
discipleship in. Anytime you can do that
Yes.
is so good. So,
Yep.
yeah, if your parents are looking for a resource, we just hit you up with a couple of them.
Yeah.
So now I wanna do a right turn, and I want to take us back to the beginning.
okay.
And when you said the date, Tom, I believe you said
2012.
1900s.
nine. Did you say 12?
2012.
2012?
Yep.
Was that the when the KMC started, or was that the radio program?
That's
Because I feel like the radio program started earlier than that.
it. Yeah, the radio show would have probably been mid 2000s.
Okay, so I
Uh,
want to go all the way back to this
All the way.
being called the radio show, because I think some of our listeners don't even know, like, what is a radio show? What
Or what is a radio?
yeah, what is a radio?
What's a radio? Yeah.
And so yeah, tell us about the radio show, Tom and Ron, and how did it get started? What was your thinking on it? Like, what made you guys have a desire to put yourselves out there?
So,
It was CM Connect, and it was Michael Chanley
yes,
that did it first. And
Right.
CM Connect was, I don't know, he was trying to turn it into like a Facebook for kids ministry type of
Yeah.
thing is the best way to explain it.
yep,
And on a regular basis, Chanley would do the CM Connect radio show, and we would join in, we would listen. There'd be a chat bar on the side, type in questions back and forth. And I want to say that's how we met originally, was through that show, is what I think. Cause there was us, Matt Norman, Wayne Stocks, Jared Massey.
Such good names. Yeah, that's a
And-
memory
and-
right there.
yeah, and then Wayne,
Yeah.
Wayne took over and started Kidmin. Oh no, there was a number to it, and I would just lost it.
1124 or something.
There we go. Yes, that's what it was.
Something like
Kidman
that.
1124. And so he had a group of people that did a roundtable conversation. And there were a number of times he would put out on CM Connect's website, hey, we're going to get ready to go live, and a couple of people can't make it. Can some people jump in? And Ron and I would jump in. And kind of started getting to be a little more regular because other people drifted off into other things and just didn't have time for it. And then Wayne contacted me and said, hey, can we do a phone call? And he called me and said, hey, I'm just feeling like my season's done with this radio thing. Michael wants to keep something going on this. It was called Blog Talk Radio, was the original thing. It's not even in existence anymore, which is
Well,
heartbreaking.
That was like an internet-based radio
Yes.
station kind of thing where
Yeah.
you could subscribe to it, pay the monthly or annual fee, and you could have your own internet radio
Yeah,
show.
It's
So
your own channel.
CM Connect had that subscription thing, and
Yeah.
one thing led to another, and
Yeah.
there we were too.
Yeah. It was funny because I told Wayne, I said, you're going to have to let me get back to you because I don't want to do this by myself. And I reached out to Ron and said, hey, what do you think? Would you want to do this? And at first he was like, no, man.
I'm sure I
don't-
said no.
You did. You did. It took me a while to convince him to say yes because he was like, I don't. And I said, look, all right, how about you be the tech guy and make sure everything runs, and I'll kick it off and kind of lead, and you jump in on the conversations, and
And I'll just say it was obvious you needed a tech guy, but we'll get to that in a minute.
and so we said yes, and Michael was gracious enough to keep it open and going, and so then we were trying to figure out a name for it, and we batted around a variety of ideas and came up with the Kid Ministry Collective because we felt like we had a group of people that we started circling up with at conferences and connecting with on CM Connect. And when Michael did the CM Connect conference, we would gather and hang out and just go have a lot of fun. That's where
I
Ben,
met y'all.
yeah, Ben
Yeah.
came in and we all
I've
had
got
dinner
pictures
together.
sitting next to you, Ben, somewhere.
Yes.
Something.
Yeah.
Lunch
You were
or
eating or
something.
wasting time or
I
something.
think we were at Red Robin
Yeah.
or something like that. And so we used to go out and just hang out after the conference. It was just a big reunion and party for all of us. And so that it was easy to name it the Kids Ministry Collective. or the KMC as we.
Since
Well, part of the
2012,
goal,
original
part of the
KMC.
goal was trying to take what we had and expand that to other people, to
Yeah.
provide that friendship, that collective
Yep.
feeling, because it did so much for us.
Yes.
I've always been the type of, trying to reach out and help, those other people, because I've been on the other side of it. And before the CM Connect thing, I was on my own,
Mhm.
and I've not been on my own since then. So
Yep. Yep. Me too.
I love that. I think that's the heart of every children's director, pastor, worker out there, is that we don't want to do this alone. And you go to conferences and you get into round tables and you see all of this energy. And then for so many years, everyone just goes back to their churches. And then we're like, but we're now by ourselves. So I love that from the
Mhm.
very beginning, the roots that were the roots is still what we want to do today.
Yeah.
Is
Mhm.
bring people into relationship and like we're better together. We
Absolutely.
aren't supposed to do
Exactly.
this. So
How
what did
important
you guys
did-
talk about back then? Back in the olden days, what did you talk about on the radio? Look,
Puppets and flannel graph.
Google it.
Blowing things up. Yeah. I mean, anything. I mean, if it had to do with kids ministry or leadership, going through hard things. I mean, we had real frank conversations. I mean, we had debates. I mean, we had some pretty intense conversations at times about the ways to do ministry and what was working and what wasn't working. And that was a lot of the fun of the radio show was having the chat room there. And I mean, we
even had a call-in number. People could call
we
in.
did.
And
That's what we need now.
we missed out.
I
Ben,
mean,
we
that would be
missed out.
really cool, because there would be times the number would pop up, and it wasn't like there was caller ID or anything, and the number
Yeah.
would pop up, and you'd be like, hang on, pause, mute, go offline, talk to whoever it is, then introduce them online. It was a whole thing, but it was
It's a
so
legit
much.
radio show.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was. I mean, and the hard part is trying to have a conversation and eyeball the chat that's going, because some of our friends are known for their sarcasm and snarkiness and love being distraction kind of people, and they always threw stuff in there, and one of us would have to mute our mic, which could be a challenge for some of us,
And not a challenge for others.
because we'd
Okay,
start
well, let's
laughing.
talk about that. Let's just dive in because we've been together for a few minutes now. We're all fast friends. Ron, it's a safe place. Some past tech challenges that you've encountered with Tom. Is there one or two or five that come to mind?
Or 10.
I know right.
Those
I
seem
know right
fine.
where he's gonna go. I know right where he's
Yeah.
gonna go.
I'm going to bring up another one that was outside of the radio show. I'm going to bring that one up first. I forget
Oh.
what conference we were at, and we were supposed to go to lunch, and we were at the restaurant to have lunch. And Tom is like a little kid, like eyes this big. Who do I see? Who do I want to talk to? Where do I want to go? And next thing I know, instead of sitting down and having lunch with me, I'm going this way. And he like left me at the restaurant. So I'm there all by myself. Was it Qdoba or something? Or was it Qdoba where I ended up because you abandoned me?
Was he the driver?
I don't remember that. I don't remember.
I just remember feeling like, what did I do wrong, Tom?
Yeah, I don't remember what, it was, I saw somebody, but I also saw the restaurant I really wanted to go to. And I'm like, I'm going over here. And Ron, I did turn around and look, and Ron's standing there like, where'd you go? Where? I thought we were eating here.
I think Wayne Stocks ended up being around, and I think I had lunch with him,
Yeah.
but I didn't eat with you that day. So
No.
that's one good memory I have with Tom. The other one pertaining to tech challenges, we've alluded to it a little bit,
Yeah.
but keep in mind, like right now we're recording a podcast. So if something goes wrong, you always have the option to go back and edit before it's published.
Yeah.
Live radio show days, you didn't have that option. If something
Nope.
went wrong, it went wrong and everybody knew.
Everybody.
So imagine having a conversation. Vicky, you're
stressed
talking
out
to
Tom?
Tom, and then I don't know if he was stressed out or not, but then
No, it was our
Mute-
first
muted my
episode.
mic.
It was
He muted my mic. And having the master control, there was nothing that I could do to unmute myself. So he's just talking and I couldn't talk back because he pushed the mute button.
okay.
I think he
now,
still controls the mute button right
I
now.
was going to
just
say,
sniffed it.
I think he can still mute us if he wants.
you know, all right. Now you didn't tell the story I actually thought you were going to tell.
Now you
I
got to
didn't.
tell us.
Our
Okay.
first episode, what happened? The very first episode, we had advertised that we were launching the Kid Ministry Collective radio show, and I had a whole monologue written. And what happened? Do you remember?
You'll have to tell me because I don't remember.
You don't. I am shocked that you weren't telling this story. All right, I will tell on myself.
You probably muted yourself and I probably didn't hear.
That I had this whole monologue ready. It was a great first introduction, brand new radio show. We had people in the chat room, and there was always this little automated recording, Blog Talk Radio. And then we knew we were live and the show was on. Well, the show went live. Everybody comes into the chat room and I launch into this fantastic introduction, and people are in the chat going, did they start? We can't hear anything. We can't hear anything. And there was a chat feature between host and co-host kind of thing. And Ron messages me and goes, you're muted. And I'm like, oh man, no way. And I'm like, all right, nobody knows. We're just going to start all over again. So I said, Ron, hit the unmute button because he could control that too. And eventually, I think. But anyway,
Eventually I took over that. Yes.
I remember unmuting and launching into it, and nobody knew that story until it was a birthday of one of the years. I don't remember which one. And we actually had somebody show up at my house with a birthday cake live while we were on air to surprise us. Because Ron was actually in my town and we were doing a conference together. And this guy
We
shows up.
recorded live in your house, didn't we?
Yes.
We
And we recorded live in my
Yeah.
back bedroom, one of my kids' bedrooms. I had to kick him out for the night. And so then of course, Ron revealed our very first episode blooper ever, was Tom didn't mute. But yes, I've had mute button issues over the years.
Yeah. Makes for good memories though.
They were good for laughs for sure. And now every time I start a podcast, I always make sure everybody's unmuted. So I didn't do it by accident.
That's
My
right.
hands go off the mute button.
It's why we talk for a few minutes beforehand, right? Just let's banter just to make sure.
Yes. Test everything and only hit
I've
the
been
record
a friend of both of you for a while, and I know there's got to be something else. Like it gets you two in the same room. There's got to be funny moments.
Mm-hmm.
You've been talking on this radio show. You've been doing years of podcasting. What would you say would be one of your funniest memories, moments, slip ups, other than your first one? I mean, we'll give you his rookie mistake.
Yeah, we want the tea. Like, bring us like the big funniest things.
Well, the first episode thing was probably one of the, to me, was always one of the funniest things, just because I had that whole thing and nobody ever knew about it until the birthday party episode where it got revealed. I mean, a funny moment to us that we still laugh about all through the years is Ron and I were at a conference, and all of a sudden we hear this woman's voice yell from
Sarah.
across the hallway.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's Tom and Ron, the KMC guys. And we're looking around like,
You're
who?
Tom
What?
for the radio show?
And this lady comes up, and her name is Sarah, and she's a dear friend of ours, up in Maine. And so we've always called her the KMC Stalker, because she was our first person to come up and recognize us, which was funny because we didn't have any video going. It was always just audio the whole time. But I think stuff like that was always hilarious to us because we're just Tom and Ron. We're just the two guys that.
Well, it's still funny now because she still volunteers with CPC. So
Yep.
every year when I see her doing something, I'll
Yep.
make a comment. Hey, make sure to look for Tom, the radio guy, when you're there. Say hi. So
No
it's still funny.
way. I love that.
And
Yeah.
You gotta
Sarah will
get her
come.
on the podcast.
Yeah, Sarah will come up at conferences and go, "Hey, you're that KMC guy from the radio show, right?" And I'm like, "Hey, you're the KMC Stalker, right?" We love her. She's awesome. I don't know, Ron. I mean, we've had some unique opportunities to interview tons of people, and I mean, just over the years, it's just been. I mean, I don't. They're all fun memories because every week was always just at the end. We're like, man, that was a blast. That was a great conversation, and
It was every single time.
yeah, I mean, and there were some hard conversations too, but I think everything, just the fact that we could go around and talk to so many different people, and we got to interview a variety of authors and publishers, and people from Jim Weidman to Yancey to Jamie Doyle. Jamie was one of our first guests on the podcast, and I mean, there's people that are still in ministry. There's people that aren't in ministry anymore. We got to hang out with Phil Vischer for a few minutes. They never really. We wanted to get him on the podcast to interview, but never made that one happen. But that would have been fun. But we
Okay,
did get
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Uh-oh.
So I want to know, like a favorite guest memory, but is there a favorite guest that surprised you? Whether it was something they said or something that took you by surprise, or you were like, oh, how do we come back from this? Who is a guest who blindsided you? Let's do that.
Wow, that's a good question.
If
Really
you're
random.
asking me, it's been years. So I don't have those kind of memories.
Got the gray hairs to prove it. It's like,
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, gosh. Yeah, I don't, I'm trying to think who
it's probably me, Tom. I was on there a couple times, and I'm very
say?
unfiltered.
we had the germ. I mean, the Joy Germ.
Oh.
We've had little Tommy. We've had little Timmy. We've had we've had some characters, that's for sure. We've had some people that were, I think Linda Ransom Jacobs was probably one. We did an episode with her after there was I don't remember which tragedy.
Yeah, it was something, because I still reference that.
Yeah, that podcast is one of our higher
Conversation.
ranking
Yeah.
episodes on dealing with tragedy and hardship. I think that one,
Okay.
that was probably one of those, wow, the wealth of wisdom that she had left us. Like, we've got to do more episodes of this, and we've got to create some resources around her. And we're always, I mean, yeah, it's been years since we've done that episode, and I've referred that episode to a number of people because what she shared is
Like
still
every
so
time there's a natural disaster or school
Yep.
shooting or something, I
Yep.
still pull that link out
Yep.
and share, because it's still relevant. The situation is different, but
Yeah.
the way that you deal with it is still the same.
Yeah.
So I still reference that.
So you guys can hear already how this is how the KMC Collective formed. I mean, we got the Facebook group going after the radio show had been going for a little bit, because people started to come around us and we started collecting more people in our circle. And it just became this group of, so we just, it wasn't about celebrities. We didn't go after the big name people to interview. It was,
I think
we
that's what
wanted-
makes it work, Tom, is
Yeah.
you and I are just regular guys. And
Yeah.
we get together and talk. And what you guys are hearing now is Tom and I talk, and we both ramble. I admit it. Tom sometimes does, but
sometimes
sometimes
you're nice.
we're
If he
Sometimes
was friend, can you
they
tell he's
ramble.
my friend?
we're just normal guys that
Yep.
we want to help, and we want
Mhm.
everybody to experience what we're experiencing. So we're helping each other, but at the same time, we might be able to help somebody else. And that's attractive to someone on the outside. So then they come in, and then they become a part of the next conversation. And then somebody else sees that, and hey, I want to be a part of that. And that's where KMC started years and years ago. That was the heart behind it. And I'm really proud of you, Tom, for continuing to go, because I don't think you mentioned you have the longest running kids ministry podcast that's out there.
Yay.
Yeah.
That
Thank you.
deserves some more confetti.
Hold on. Confetti time. Throw it. And honestly, like, I remember meeting everybody, sitting around a table, and it's always been a community. If I have a question, I call, that group of people, the community of people that have been in the same boat, whether they're still there or not. The wisdom is still there. And the 1,000+, I don't even know, Tom, how many people are on our Facebook group.
Over 6,000 in the Facebook
Over
group now.
6,000 people in the same boat. That's a big cruise ship right there. That are going through the same stuff. And if you're not, you at least can learn, so that if you ever face that. And I think that's the benefit and the power of the Kids Ministry Collective is
Yes.
we truly are better together, because as Ron and Tom said, like, they didn't have nobody. So how do you fix a problem? You're feeling alone, you get together with a group of people. And then I know that I've been in ministry for 26 years, and alone is no fun. And being together with a group of people is. And so KMC, the Kids Ministry Collective, the line, we are better together, truly goes all the way back to the
Yes.
beginning.
Yes.
And that's basically the foundation of what you guys did. And I'm honored to be a part of it, and to be one of the followers, the 100 and almost 180,000 subscribers.
Okay.
To the podcast, the downloads. Like, you guys are doing amazing, and we can do nothing but just say thank you for doing this all faith and continuing with consistency to just bring the knowledge and the wisdom of the kid ministry world. So
Thank you. Appreciate that.
that was
Yeah,
me clapping everyone.
Ron made the comment, I'm the face of the KMC. And no, I'm one of the faces of the KMC. And without Ron unmuting me, and without Ron fixing text problems, and without Ron doing website stuff and all that kind of stuff behind the scenes, there wouldn't be KMC today. There would be times where I was ready to pack it up and pull the plugs, and Ron would talk me off get my hand off the plug, and remind me of why we started this, and why we kept it going. But I am one of, and I will always continue to say that I am one of the faces. This is bigger than me. It's bigger than Ron. I said it from day one. I will steward this. I don't want my face on branding. I know there's other people out there that like to brand with their face. I don't, because I'm one of. Every listener, every download, every email subscriber, every person that's in the Facebook group, we pray for, we care about, we want to stand with you. We want to uphold you. We don't ever want you to ever think you're going to do ministry alone. If you do that, that's on you. That's because you haven't jumped in and asked, because we will do whatever we can to help and serve you. And that's from the bottom of my heart. I know that's Ron's heart. That was ours when we started, is we just said, look, we're tired of doing this alone. We're done. We're not going to do it. The devil will take us out if we do. And so we're going to keep fighting, and we're going to keep stewarding what God has, and whatever. We've got a lot of cool dreams. God has been giving me some new things, and I am so thrilled. I'm missing Cole tonight, but having you, Vicky, Ben, and Cole, you guys have brought new energy to the KMC and the podcast. And Ben, your creativity, I'm going to give you the shout out. I know you don't want it, but I'm giving it anyway. With the graphics and the designs and the logos and all that stuff to make that's, Ron knows that is not my gift either. I don't draw stick people well. And 5 years of kindergarten, still couldn't get it right. So, and Vicky, our glitter lady, well, glitter, no.
I mean, her confetti,
It's not.
all kinds of things.
Confetti lady, and our encouragement, and our wise one, and Cole just being there and being steady and strong, and each one of you. And that's why it is definitely one of. And so thank you, all you listeners. Thank you that if you're part of Kidmin Plus, or if you're part of the Facebook group, or you're on the Better Together newsletter list, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of Ron and I's heart. For being a part of the Kid Ministry Collective. You make us better. You push us forward. You keep us dreaming about what's coming. And there's some cool stuff that's coming.
That's right. Tom, I love how you said it. Like, what started out as just a radio show is grown into so much more. And it's not because you guys were chasing anything other than wanting people to connect. And I hope people hear that in both of your hearts. At the bottom of everything is wanting people to connect. So what was a radio show is now a podcast and a newsletter and a Facebook.
Yeah.
And if you all have made it this far, we are entering season 3, and we have so much starting in season 3 in August. So starting August 2026, because you could be listening to this in the future. So
That's true.
Future Past Vicky is saying this. We are going to start season 3. We are going to have new guests coming to join our roundtable. We will talk about new questions, new struggles, things that are continuing to change in Kidmin world, because we know change is a coming, and so we will always have something to talk about. There's going to be fun new platforms, so many more things. You never know when a new cohort is going to start.
More confetti.
Yes.
More confetti.
That's right. And confetti. I mean, you never know when confetti is going to come out. Probably the first week of season 3. So thank you all for joining us for the first 2 seasons of what's new. And thank you, Tom and Ron, for all of your years of pouring in to people. Like, we stand on your shoulders, and all of those people who sat in those roundtable meetings years ago going, we need each other. And so I'm excited for season 3. I hope our listeners are excited for season 3 to jump in, and let's learn together.
That's right.
And if you ever see them in public, just say, "Are you Tom and Ron?
Are you on the Terminal show?"
And we will say, no, that's yes, we will. We'll greet
Thank you guys for being a part and just reminiscing the past. And as we look forward to the future, 175,000 more downloads. Let's go.
That's right. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up episode 40, season 2 of the KMC Collective Podcast. I'm Tom.
I'm Ben.
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Ron.
Bye, Ron.
Right. We're
Bye,
out.
everyone.
Long way.
Hey, friend, that wraps up the KMC Collective podcast for this week. Thanks so much for listening. If today's episode sparked something, an idea, a heartbeat, or a fresh start, drop us a line at tom@tombump.com or reach out on social media. We'd love to hear your story and keep the conversation going. Remember, you're not just doing kids ministry, you're shaping the next generation's faith with intention and care. Be encouraged, be creative, and take a breath. You've got this. Catch you next time on the KMC Collective Podcast.